Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome along to your first of the week of your comedy streaming show, online problem solving shenanigans that we do. I say twice a week, I was going to say, but we weren't on twice last week. Apologies for that. I wasn't available. I went on a cruise through the Suez Canal. It was really nice, actually. Took longer than I thought. And I tell you what, some of those cruise ships are amazing. They're so big that for quite a lot of the journey, didn't even feel like we were moving. Nice. Anyway, you get your money's worth, don't you? And now we're back. I am admittedly in a different home studio. Hopefully you like it. I went to the same people who designed the new one for Downing Street, but this one only cost 1.2 million because they didn't have the flags. But you know, I didn't want to splash out for the extra. But I think they've done it quite nice. This is nice, the new studio.
All right.
As we plough on, you were sorry?
None of flags. Where's your British flag, Steve?
Yeah, well, they would have cost extra, and also I don't want to be crowded. I'll end up adding more flags as the series goes on. I get the feeling that's going to happen. The trouble is, because we don't use green screen, I'd actually have to buy flags.
I've got wait, hold on, let's see, right here. Look at that.
Wrong one. Yeah, I see.
What?
Right colour scheme.
This is not the wrong one. This is never
right
the
colour
wrong
scheme.
one.
Wrong flag. So as we plough on through the show, what you can do, if you're enjoying it, you can spread the word and like the video, especially if you are watching it on the main YouTube. That's the place to go to, unless you're having real tech trouble, in which case you might be to Trovo, but this could be your last chance. It's youtube.com/comic solving problems. And as we plough on solving problems, hopefully through the medium of humour, you can help us out by donating some money to our Ko-fi page as well. But more on that later. And if you've pre-bought the tickets, because this is like the focal point of your enjoyment of the evening, I'm so sorry for how your evenings have turned out, but don't blame us, blame the COVID. And also thank you very much for buying the tickets. Anything else to add, Mr. Eric McElroy?
No, I think that's it. We are going to be migrating people to focus on the main YouTube channel. So if you are watching us on one of the other platforms from Thursday, the place to be is going to be YouTube. So feel free to jump on there now because that's where the most chat is. That's where all the cool kids are.
Yeah, already we're seeing some of the chat coming through. Britt wants to know if I went on the boob cruise. They would have let me on. I did qualify, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then some general hellos and highs in there. Yeah, you can get... although Chris says, okay, I've had a shit day, make me laugh. Oh, God, he set the bar high.
Oh, pressure. Yeah, boob cruise, definitely. I mean, but I can win the wet t-shirt contest between Steve and me every time.
Nice.
Moobs.
It's the hairiness that makes it extra special.
Let's not talk about that. Shall we get stuck in and I'll solve a problem,
Okay,
Steve?
Go for it. What problems you got?
Cool. Well, I talk a lot about U.S. politics on the show, but, I am in Britain in spite of the flag, and I do live in London, and this is the problem of running for mayor. Did you know that we're having a little mayoral election coming up pretty soon, in May, as a matter of fact?
It was delayed from last year, wasn't it?
That's right. That's right. So we got an extra bonus here of Sadiq Khan. This is like the extra tracks, like on an old CD. You didn't know it was going to be there, but there he was all along. But this race,
just going to say on that thing, the Easter egg of the hidden track, and you play the last track of the album. The countdown is you got 15 minutes. Why is this song 15 minutes long when the song says it's only 3? And then you wait for ages, and all of a sudden, Alanis Morissette kicks off again. I remember those days.
Yeah. For younger people, it's kind of like the extra scene at the end of a Marvel movie.
Good reference.
Does that help? Okay. So we know the race is between Sadiq Khan and that Tory dude. That's basically it. I mean, that's all we really know. No one even knows his name. I met him once. But there are other candidates, Steve. And so I thought it would make sense to kind of reach out and learn more because we're all about democracy here at Comic Solving Problems. It's our thing. Unless we manage to get the show on RT, in which case, not our thing. Yeah. We have no real problems with that. But one of the candidates, so we're going to be featuring different candidates over the next few weeks before the election. And one of the candidates, or the candidate we're going to start with, is a man named Brian Rose. And he was kind enough to meet with me earlier today. And we had this conversation. Hi, Brian. Thanks for agreeing to talk to me today about your mayoral run. Really appreciate you joining me. Okay, that's okay. I thought you were free to chat now, Brian. Is that Are you? Are you not? Are you able to talk now?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what exactly is your agenda that you're standing for? Okay. And what do you bring to this campaign that, say, Sadiq Khan doesn't? What's with all the thing? Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. There you go, Steve. If you don't speak, it was a little bit to understand, but we couldn't afford the translation service. So he's just, he's a very strong candidate, I think, is the point that he's trying to get across there.
What has happened to
But
our
he's,
politics? Oh.
I don't know. He's real. He's really running for mayor. And I don't want to be unfair to the guy. I do want to give him a chance to have himself heard. So this is what he actually sounds like.
All right, so here I am with the final paperwork here to submit my nomination to the Electoral Commission to be the next mayor of London.
Yep, that's right. It's awful. As you can tell from that tiny little clip there, from his accent, he's a vegan. It doesn't get any worse than that. On top of that, he's also an American. And like me, he's lived here a long time. So I know I should appreciate him getting involved, you know, because I'm a proud Brit, I'm a proud Londoner. You know, and as an American, he should be more than qualified to be mayor. Let's see how he does here.
Like that, like that. Yeah, like that'll do it. All right, it's here, right? Can he sign? Here we go.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, let's be honest, Steve. That is not a good sign, as it were.
Good pun. He did a pun.
Thank you. Did a pun. Ding, ding. We need a pun bell. That's something to add to the show. Because we Americans are proud of signing things. That's what's made it so weird that he was struggling with that. Because, you know, the phrase John Hancock? Do you know that phrase?
Yeah.
Put your John Hancock on something? That's because John Hancock signed his name bigger than everyone else so that King George could see it, right, on the Declaration of Independence. So a signature is a really big deal for an American. Let's see how he does his.
Here we go. Booyah.
What?
He draws a pew.
What? That's not a signature. That's a stroke.
Beep, beep.
Second pun.
Yeah.
Second pun.
Second pun.
Thank you.
He's up
Thank
on
you
the
very
pun
much.
score.
Just put some money in the Ko-fi. I mean, you think, could the form get any more complicated? The man is trying to run for mayor. He's managed to sign his name. Let's see how harder it gets from here.
The date is... No. We'll check. 26.
It's 26. Yeah.
Yeah, it
26.
is. 26.
I think the punching bag would do better than that. Ah, good Lord. Let's just see how Sadiq is feeling about the competition. Sadiq?
I'm actually good. I'm actually really good.
I bet you are. I think that we know who our next mayor is going to be. So there we go, Steve.
Wow.
Mayoral politics. It's no insurrection, but it'll do.
Yep. Jack was ringing. He says, I'm ringing the pun bell. Is he from Vega? Says Chris, as in he's a vegan. So he must be from Vega. Is
Yep.
that a Star Trek reference? I think we can tick off tonight's first Star Trek reference.
can.
Mark
All right,
says, Brian for
I'm
mayor.
gonna go to
makes-
my. I've got a new.
Oh, he's got, look at
I've got a new comment cam because yours isn't working today. So
I'm on solo cam. I'm single cam. I'm only on
Solo
two
cam.
lights as well.
solo cam. There we go. Look at that. All right, I'm commenting. Oh, I'm here.
Samuel wants to know, will you be voting for Dr. Gammon of UKIP? And Mark says, Brian for mayor makes Billy, Joe, Jim, Bob seem like a mastermind contestant. I mean, look, there are a couple of things where in there as well. I love the fact that you say you're a proud Brit and a proud Londoner. And yet you're really, really interesting the way that you land on the word mayoral, but it's all right.
Mayoral. Mayoral? How do you say it?
Well, the way I did. then. I showed my hand early, didn't I? I pronounced the word from my mouth. But also, it's like he's trying to do a Jack Nicholson impression. Was it the second clip that you played?
All right, so here I am with the...
All right, here I am. Well, looky here. I mean, he's not the guy you want in charge. Jack Nicholson being in charge of the nation's capital. Struth. And when you showed him working out, I think the punching bag won. Because it's like we learned from Rocky. It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and still get up. That punch bag never fell. And yet halfway through, he's like... So, yeah, I think he...
It went on for 8 minutes, that clip. I don't know how he's allowed to do Twitter videos that long. It's infuriating.
I emailed
he doesn't say a word
that.
and he gets an 8-minute video.
I did email them about that, and they did say that if I was spending around £1,000 a month on adverts, they'd look at my application. So I think that kind of tells you what it's all about.
Should we put the Ko-fi link up for that?
His signature, this is what Brit says, his signature being a pube appears to be very fitting. He's an amazing painter, Potato Prince, methinks. He's got the style, yeah. He's got the abilities.
Yeah, definitely. Right, okay.
He's-
I'm just making sure I'm posting on here that people, so they know we're switching over YouTube accounts. I'm just checking other places.
So
There we
Mark
go.
Randall's having a little chat with Chris, but also says Mayoral. That's how you say it.
Mayoral.
Mayoral. That's how I'd say mayoral. I think I'm doing an extra
That's what I
syllable.
was saying.
No, you said mayoral.
I said mayoral.
Hang on.
Hi, Brian. Thanks for agreeing to talk to me today about your mayoral run.
That's mayoral.
Mayoral.
I'm standing by it. You cannot prove I've said it any other way. There's no way to prove it.
Hi, Brian. Thanks for agreeing to talk to me today about your mayoral run.
We will never know.
We'll never know. I'm going with the Donald Trump line of defense. You can show me when I've said it, and I will deny it anyway.
Brilliant.
What you gonna do?
Yeah. It's the new world of politics. Good to be back, Mark. So, Chris is now in a chat with Mark, and then Mark says May Oreo Eol.
I'd love an Oreo.
And that is the level of political discussion we're doing on the show tonight. I don't blame us.
If you feel like contributing, so that I can get an Oreo. And while we're doing that, thank you to Mark, who has supported the show. So
Thank you very much.
because he was newly re-employed. So thank you very much.
And I've got to pay off this 1.2 million for the new Downing Street interior design.
Yep,
Look.
that's right. And all these lights back here, it's a lot of batteries going
Yeah,
on.
and all I've got is my tripod. For the rest of the kit that used to be on the thing behind me is all back there, but I'm too big for it. The only thing that sticks above me is the tripod. I'll look into that for next week or for Thursday's show. Speaking of which, Thursday's show, don't forget, it's only on the YouTube.
Only on the YouTube,
Get yourself
kids. So I
subscribed.
don't know if there's anybody. Let's check your channel, Steve. Keith was over there, but maybe Chris has migrated over. Chris Curling's off the Trovo, which is good.
Nice.
So he's on the YouTube and it's working. So that's the place to be, guys.
With flying ducks, says Mark. I think this is what this place needs, because you can just about see the mantelpiece. Got the mantelpiece of an old Victorian fire here, so above it I can have 3 flying ducks. Very Hilda Ogden. That's what I'm going to go for. That's the look that I think the young people are into.
My wife has just met somebody who specializes in selling rubber ducks online, so I can sort you out.
Right. Is that, as a business, does it wash its face? Sorry. Can't stop it. Anyway, enough of the puns. You can chuck some money in the pot if you'd like to. You could like and share the video as we move on to problem number 2. How do you deal with political infidelity? How do you make those match together? Because look, I need to talk about something that is very shocking. I hope that you're sitting down for this, and if you're standing up, I hope you're doing it while sat down, because this is shocking. This is going to be very shocking. Now, it's just accusation. It's just rumour. But still, get ready to be shocked. Boris Johnson... God, that's already shocking. Boris Johnson has apparently had an affair. Sorry, has had another affair. Oh my... Can you believe it? This is shocking. This is the big shocking news. We saw it there with this Jennifer Arcuri affair with Boris Johnson. We're talking the level of shock that one would get if you were driving and were cut up by a BMW. Shock like that. Or shock if you're sat in a coffee shop and you're enjoying a coffee and someone's letting their toddlers run around and At some point, that toddler falls over. Oh my God, who could have seen that coming? Those kind of levels of shock, that's what we're dealing with. Boris Johnson apparently had an affair. Remember, just to fill in some of the details, a few years ago when we heard that he had an affair with Jennifer Curry. Well, in that, apparently, he had an affair. I mean, this is big, shocking stuff, isn't it? Now, there's so much information about this that we knew from before. Jennifer Curry is this American businesswoman. Although, to be fair, the newspapers mainly focused on the fact that she owned a pole for pole dancing, which seems to be less of her career and more about just stuff she owns.
We like our poles.
Yeah. But by the same thing, I might as well change my Twitter bio to Stephen Allen, Peloton owner. Admittedly, not Peloton user, but Peloton owner. I prefer to drive, That's why I got the new Peloton, which is a Toyota Aygo on a treadmill. Just it's easier. Get in there, start it, get the wheels rolling. Do that for a while. Although because you don't actually move, it's called the Toyota I Don't Go. Anyone? Okay, that is the quality we're bringing today. But the back to the affair news. Look, I don't know whether it is even important whether a politician has an affair. Is it any of our business? It's difficult because it's someone that we should be voting for, and it's effectively a popularity contest. But then it's not as if anyone didn't think Boris Johnson was like this before. There is no one who voted in the last election thinking, I know, I'll vote for that Boris Johnson. He seems like a very faithful and Christian kind of guy. He did what? Oh, I retract my vote. No one's ever thinking that at all. And I talked about this on a different show recently, how I've realised I've got a bit of a bias myself. So back in like the 2000s or whatever, whenever there'd be some newspaper scandal about some politician, I'd often think, oh, they're just using this scandal to try and make political gains. I remember David Blunkett. There were a couple of news stories that the News of the World broke, and every time that was on the front page, I thought, leave the guy alone. It's got nothing to do with us, what's happening in his personal life. But some people think it is. If you look back to your home nation, it's not that people genuinely thought Bill Clinton was bad for those things. It's that the Republicans thought, oh, we could cash in on this. Let's undo some politics by cashing in on the sexual peccadillo, which I believe comes from the Latin for small penis. But, so look, do you think it's important that we know whether someone's willing to have an affair? Some people say if you're willing to lie to the one you love, you'll definitely lie to other people. That's kind of the job of a politician, isn't it? What other skills are involved in having an affair? Good timekeeping, also important as a politician. And if we're going to undo all politicians who have affairs, do we get rid of JFK? We like his politics. Martin Luther King was unfaithful to his missus. Do we remove him from history? So it's more complicated. But when I heard that it was Boris Johnson, I thought, oh, sack him. So I'm biased. I know I'm biased. I know what my bias is. And I think it's puerile. We shouldn't be paying attention to these little lewd details of someone's affair. So I'm not even going to talk about it. Other than some of the details in that article. For example, it was a 4-year affair, 2012 onwards. And that's not an affair, is it, if it's 4 years? That's a full-on relationship. I do like the fact that he even does his affairs in political terms. That's nice at the end of 4 years. Try and see if he can get voted in for another one. Also, on that thing, we saw that they first had sex just hours before the Paralympic opening ceremony. You can see in that picture there, wrong flag. That's not going to last. They don't like those kind of flags. I think it was a time when back in 2012, the Olympics, the Paralympics, we were all getting a bit more athletic. So that probably added to it. We all wanted to increase our step count and burn off more calories. This was one of the weirdest bits. Apparently, he had to hunt for a sock before he dashed off. And it said in the article that he lost the sock during the throes of passion.
Wow.
Now, I am not currently a lady, but I have never thought that thing where you take a sock off, twirl it round and throw it over there, actually turn them on. But apparently, that's the way Boris Johnson does it. And if you are a political leader who is worried about losing a sock, what you need to do is get Steve's pocket square socks.
I was wondering if you were going to mention that. Don't want to miss a chance to upsell.
If you're having an affair and are worried about not having those socks when you desperately need them, the Socket Square for all your infidelity needs. So there's a plug. Buy them on Ko-fi. So let's go on to the story. She also said that Boris Johnson requested racy images of her and gave a very Boris Johnson response. And I don't think that was the picture that she sent, unless he's into like fart porn because she's doing that pull my finger thing. I'm not really sure what that's about. But the quote, the thing that he said, she said that she sent some arty pictures of her topless, as if there are any other kind from the point of view of the person who sends them. But Boris described them as enough to make a bishop kick through a stained glass window. Is that what turns women on in terms of dirty talk?
Is that what bishops do?
I've never seen one kick through a stained glass window, but I guess that just means I've never sent them good enough porn.
Yeah.
Difficult.
There's a way to find out if you can achieve that. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, keep sending porn to the bishop.
Yep.
But he just keeps sending it back with return to sender, which is a really odd thing for text messages. I don't really think he's up to date. And then, look, this one is my favourite one in terms of the shocking things we learned. He begged for an intimate picture on a publicly funded foreign trip. How is the second part of that sentence not the most important thing? A publicly funded foreign trip that maybe she got to go on because she was stooping the London mayor at the time. It is ridiculous that this big, busted, blonde-haired bimbo was having an affair with Jennifer Arcuri. So look, there are so many things to be worried about this, and his attitude's part of it, isn't it? Apparently she said she wouldn't kiss him, and he said, this is my city, I don't care. And now he's in charge of the nation, so who knows what he's doing on the streets of the UK. But I will say this, of all that I've read, the most upsetting is that apparently they had sex on the family sofa in Johnson's marital home. On a sofa? It's so difficult because it's effectively like a single bed. You can't lie by the side of each other. Oh, this man has got no brains. Get him out. That's my take on that bad boy.
That's the problem with being 6'2". Sofa, this guy comes sofa ready. Just saying.
If
anybody wants to have a little bit of an affair, because now that I've heard that that's what you get to do when you're mayor, I'm putting my name in that mayoral election.
Yeah.
Focus on the Oreo.
No wonder the other guy was showing how in shape he is. Yeah. He's got his knees coming up.
He has to. I mean, that's the kind of workout you need, because you get the hottie babes when you're mayor of London. No wonder Sadiq wants to keep the job.
But you're right. I'm 6'2". The only sofa I can lie on is a 4-seater, which really sounds more like a gangbang. Like if you invite someone to a 4-seater.
It's too far.
Is that too far?
Don't say gangbang.
Is that not a phrase?
Don't say gangbang.
But,
you can't say that.
You can say
it's a family show.
Say gangbang.
It's a family show. We're sorry.
Invite the kids.
To the people watching.
What?
Oh dear.
There's no one else on that 4-seater, but I'm just saying it would be misleading.
You can't gangbang yourself.
A couple of mirrors, if you know what you're doing with angles.
I don't know. Should we do that as a question to our people in chat? Anybody? Never mind. I can say what's nice is, who looks like they have room for that is Sal, because he sent us a picture watching us on the TV.
Nice.
Let's see if I can bring that up to the camera there. Is that going to be in focus? Look at that.
Good. Oh, we're above the fireplace. Nice bowl.
Above the fireplace. That's a nice TV, Sal. You're doing all right.
Can you just show us that again? Is that a glass coffee table? And I thought Boris Johnson was into some weird stuff with his farting pictures.
What's wrong with a glass coffee table?
Do you not know what they... You think a 4-seater sofa's a problematic issue. Glass coffee table.
You'd say it leaves a little bit of an imprint.
Do you not know what they're used for? It's so that you can... Well, anyway, you're right. This is a family show, and no one needs to know about that.
I'll Google that while you're checking the comments.
It's winking at you. Brit says, pocket sock with an additional sales option. Pocket socks with free cock sock and mints for all your weekend needs.
The thing when you're swinging the sock, it's only sexy if when you fling your sock at the wall, the sock sticks.
Yeah.
That's sexy.
Like in The Odd Couple with Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Jack says stooping. Yeah, I really didn't know if that word's a thing, but I said it out loud. It felt right in the moment. I probably meant stooping, but anglicised it. Charlotte says, good evening all. Good to have you back, Stephen Ericks. Nice to be back after my Suez cruise.
Yeah. I like Tracy's comment. Mayoral. Is Theresa May giving BJ a BJ? Ooh.
And you're having to go at me for making it not a family show.
That's Tracy. I'm not doing it.
Read it out.
This is just, it's fine. When you're reading public comments, it's fine. It's exempt from that.
That's how it works.
That's what it works.
Oh, Chris says mayor or real. Did you read this one? Mayor
one?
or real.
No, I didn't read that one.
So if you say
Where
it's
is that?
mayor or real,
Mayor.
mayoral.
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 Didn't Hilda Ogden have one
Mural.
of those? We're keeping the Hilda Ogden comments coming through, keeping the reference. This is what brings in the young audience. This is what we're after. Just Rubber Duck, says Chris, and wasn't that Muriel? No, it's pronounced Muriel. What?
Rural. I don't think you read this one. Chris says, my missus never once asked me to dress like Robert Runcie in the bedroom. Harry Biker lookalike is good enough for her.
Nice.
I don't know who Robert Runcie is.
No, neither do I. Still nice.
We might need we need Mark to tell us. He's our fact checker.
Yeah, you do the fact checking. Meanwhile, Kofi in the pot if you'd like to keep us afloat and pay for more lights and things that will eventually be behind me. And don't forget, like and spread the video, share the video. We're from Thursday. We're just on the YouTube, and it's that YouTube right there.
Yep, and I can see that Bishop is on a different YouTube channel. So just so you know, Bishop, we're switching over to the Comic Solving Problems channel as of Thursday. So cutting out all the other channels.
Daniel Dearlove says, "Is this the Carry On special?" They always end up being like that. we mean to do satire and end up doing knob jokes.
Yep. And even if you're on Facebook, I think, are we going to pull the plug on Facebook?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
think
the plan?
Thursday show will just be. We just need to see what happens with the tech.
Yep. So, and we want you all together. We care. It's about building that community.
I'm just going to go through some more of the channels. Well, if you'd like to, you can crack on with the next problem.
All right, very good. Oh, here we go. Before we go, Robert Runcie was a former Archbishop of Canterbury. Mark says he wasn't into porn. I don't know how Mark knows that. And Jack says that he was in the 1980s, which is well before my time in the UK. I've tried to, I try and know certain things about living here.
I imagine they keep porn under the hat. Why else would you have such a big hat?
They had to back in the 80s because it was magazines usually.
Yeah.
So you roll. That's where we'll keep the hats, because those hats will fall over unless you've got a penthouse forum up there. Playboy doesn't work because the paper wasn't as strong.
That's why you had to make the pages sticky to make sure you maintain
Keep
the
Bishop's hat
mitre structure.
up. Yep. Those are the days. Finding porn in a bush, literally. I know that's an old hack story, but I did.
The two things
Germany.
The two things you can't do anymore is find porn in a bush and find bush in some porn. It's somehow you can't do either.
That's nice.
That
You should
clip's
just
going
come
on
up with that.
TikTok. Let's see what happens with that one.
That's right. It's not appropriate for YouTube, but for TikTok,
Yep.
get in there. All right. So, is it my problem, Steve? This is a problem, Steve, that you mentioned at the beginning, and this is the problem of a boat in a canal. Now, we all know about this story now, but it actually happened last week when we had a day off, so we didn't really get to cover it. And it's just something that captured the entire world's imagination, but we're at the point now where we can see here it's over. The boat's been freed, according to the latest breaking news. So there you go. We take one show off, and the biggest story to happen since lockdown, and we miss it. And I mean, I don't quite know why I guess the reason why it captured everyone's attention, Steve, is that we've all been stuck this year. And I don't just mean constipated, trapped at home, unable to use the loo because we moved to a house with only one toilet. But it's the kind of story that we would have covered, not me being constipated, the boat stuck in the canal. But it was remarkable how much interest there was in this story. We can actually see now, because somebody pointed out to me, Google Trends, where you can check this stuff out. Look at how this trend, look at that. These are people looking up Suez Canal in the last 28 days. Up until last week, the interest in the canal was basically at the level of, nah, don't give a shit. 10% of the world trade goes through that canal. One boat gets stuck, and look what happens. Just boo! Look at that. I mean, the PR for the Suez Canal must be just like, hey, tourist city, guys. I've always wanted to see a canal. So it made me think, if that's the kind of interest that's happened with the Suez Canal over the last 30 days, I wonder if we could check the level of interest in comics solving problems, our show. And so I put it into Google Trends, and here we go. Oh, God. Not enough information even found to be a Google trend. Fuck's sake. I mean, what do I have to do do we need to get a canal stuck in here?
Or, yeah. I mean, that...
I mean, do I need to talk about how constipated I've been? It happens when I try and lose weight.
Oh, no.
I've been on the prunes.
Have you tried flaxseed?
Oh, yeah. Have you met my wife?
Yeah.
Please.
Do you call it linseed or flaxseed? It's a weird one that it's both.
Oh, I didn't know they were the same.
Oh, you've been taking one of each?
I've been doing the flaxseed because I never heard of it. We didn't have it when I was in America. We ate mac and cheese out of a box. We didn't do this flaxseed, linseed bullshit. And let me tell you, when I was eating mac and cheese out of a box, I was not constipated.
Yeah, to keep the box just in case.
That's why the big containers in America, that's what they're for. The one thing to come out of this canal story, Steve, other than us talking about my constipation, thought about something else I'm not going to say, is that it basically became, the biggest result that came out of the story is this headline here. It was meme city. Everybody just fell in love with it. There were lots of people doing cute photos. There's news reporters asking kids how to unstick the canal. Apparently helicopters was a big option that a lot of kids thought of. It just went on and on and on. And so I thought, you know what, even though we missed the story, I'll get in on it. So I thought of a tweet. I sent this tweet earlier. I found this plumber who was unblocking something. So I said, oh, it looks like these are the guys that got the canal boat unstuck, unblocked, and that tweet one like Jesus Christ. It wasn't even the company that I tweeted. Bastards. I mean, it's free publicity. I'm a verified Twitter account, motherfuckers. But the real question is that no one's been talking about is why did the boat get stuck? And for that, we turn to the reputable source known as the Sun newspaper, which we can see here. Apparently, the Suez Canal chaos and other disasters in Egypt are being blamed on the Pharaoh's curse over the plan to move Ramses II's body. So if you haven't heard this story, Steve, are you aware of the movements of Ramses?
No.
He's constipated as well, to be honest.
But he is.
Mummification doesn't help with that either, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But basically, they're planning to move 22 mummies, and they've been starting to transfer them from one part of Egypt to another. And it's basically, people think that there might be a curse related to it, which has led to a number of different disasters, including this one that's happened. And the thing is, they should have known that there'd be trouble with moving these mummies, because here's what happened the last time they did a transfer like this. Fantastic documentary about the pharaohs.
So your constipation, wasn't it?
So, yep. Eat the bugs, and then you just freeze everything up. So there we go. We missed that story, Steve. I mean, were you tweeting about the canal? The canal,
as we say in the posh areas.
The Mayoral canal.
I didn't do a lot of tweets about it. I was busy. What do we talk about? I think the only tweet I did was something about sending a picture of it and say, look, on the bright side, it makes me feel better about my parking. I think it had that kind of vibe to it. And who else? What else was it? Oh, I was talking about how, look, I know it's a serious thing, and it meant something like $10 billion worth of trade was being blocked every single day. That there was some sort of blockage. It means that lots of these big container things had to go all the way around, which is bad for the environment, terrible for the economy. But don't make it serious. It was one of the funniest stories of the year. You got blocked in the canal. You had one job, and that was to not get blocked in the canal. And it was not even blocked in the canal in a really good way. It's just kind of like, oh, wrong angle.
It's a big boat.
Yeah, and they sent one digger to deal with it.
That was great. That's what led to the memes. The meme. Oh, it's just incredible. Yeah, 10% of world trade goes through the canal.
Yeah,
and look at that. And the interest in it before.
But then,
this week,
lots of, I guess, 90% of the world's trade doesn't go through it, and no one's Googling for every other shipping lane. So
you're one of those people. 10%'s a big chunk.
90% is a bigger one, and no one cares about any shipping lane at all. And that's all it is. It's just that it's got land right next to it.
The guy that got called out on that first digger cared. Just sitting there going, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Why don't they make a secondary canal? You know, like the Dartford Tunnel, right? Originally one tunnel, but then they had to open up another bore. Why don't they do two canals?
Because nobody wants to pay the toll.
Call it Suez Canal. Hey?
Where have we gone?
I don't know.
They basically just cut the power on us after that.
That joke was so bad. I was trying to put the Kofi up there. Get some Kofi on it. Suez Canal. No one?
Just kills the power.
Brit says peppermint oil can help you, Eric. Straight through. It's a bit like, don't do castor oil. That means business.
Yeah, that's too much.
Chris says, how's the Gravesend Canal, Steve? Still free flowing? It's not free flowing because it's blocked in at either end. So it was meant to be the Thames Medway Canal. And I spent ages learning about it because it's a canal that took so long to build. By the time they'd got it opened, no one wanted canals anymore because they'd invented trains. It was the worst canal ever. And it's meant to go from the Thames to the Medway. It's not that difficult just to go around, and it never got used. Now they've closed it off, and there's loads of wildlife there. So when I go running past the canal, there are flipping snakes. Why?
Oh, that's not good.
Why do we have
snakes on a canal? Where's that film?
Snakes on a canal. It seems less dangerous. Yeah.
Seems less dangerous. Yeah, because you can just walk away from the canal. Marcus said, although not as a big boat, I was once on a narrow boat that managed to get wedged on both sides of Kings Norton Tunnel, which is an extra wide one, at the same time. He says he wasn't driving.
We're going to need a narrower boat. Is that what you said?
I like that I'm getting recommendations for my constipation. Yeah. Revita. Yeah. There we go. Peppermint oil, Revita. Yeah. Sue Extra Canal.
Sue Extra Canal. That's nice. I like that.
Yep.
We got stuck under Potter Heigham Bridge once, says the Bishop. Did you kick through a stained glass window? Ah.
Oh, the Bishop has joined us on this channel. Well done, Bishop.
Yay, there it is.
Very good.
That link up.
There it is. That's good.
I didn't realise I'd programmed in a button to cut the feed. I was back at the start when I must have thought, it's good that we have an emergency just in case.
Just in case. I mean, you gotta. It's like in radio, they've got the button that
the cough button
kills it.
Yeah. So we've got the. I've just pressed it again. It didn't do it. How about that?
Joke. Maybe it's Ramsay's curse.
That seems to be the most likely of all the. What caused the blockage? Yeah, the curse of a pharaoh. Of course it flew.
Yeah.
Good Lord. That's the problem with there being no new news about that story for 3 days in a row. Then they start Wikipedia in the thing.
If they've unstuck it, what are we going to do? Pharaoh's curse.
Let's have a look. Any more of the comments coming through? Jack says, just don't sit on a glass coffee table after you've tried all these remedies, Eric.
But how are you going to know if it works if you don't use the glass table?
Good Lord.
That's all I'm saying. Oh, God. Marcus said, don't they have a button like that for when the Her Majesty passes, sadly? Yeah. I won't say it the way he did.
Yeah, the OBS procedure, the OBITS procedure. There used to be 3 lights in a radio studio. One for when the mic was on, one for when the boss was calling, and then the one that never lit. And if it lit, you were just like, oh, no, I should have read the OBIT procedure. Oh. Which every single time that, how does one say this nicely? Every single time that Prince Philip looks even frailer, they send around the email reminding you of all the procedures. It's getting so frequent that Google is considering it as spam now, put it that way.
It's probably trending better than this show is. Thanks for watching, guys.
So one more problem to go. You can keep the money coming through on the Ko-fi and get yourself subscribed to YouTube, because on Thursday, that's the one place where it's going to be happening. Meanwhile, seeing as I've just been having a bit of a nasty go about the BBC, how do we solve the problem of the BBC? Because there's always trouble about it. There's a lot of political issues to do with the BBC. And maybe, I guess I'm impartial on this issue, maybe some of the decisions they're making about cancelling some of the BBC Two comedy shows seems to be foolish, from my unbiased and objective opinion. I don't know. But maybe they're making an absolute mash of the situation. Something like that. But
Something like that.
they have the new boss, what's his name, Tim Davie or something like that, has been making some decisions. And one of them was breaking today, and this is that BBC4 is to become what they call an archive channel, which means they'll be showing repeats. And I think if there's one thing that the BBC needs to do more is show repeats, because that really plays well. People love it when there's mainly repeats on the BBC. It's never been bad for them. This concept of an archive channel, it's difficult to explain, especially to younglings watching. You know, like the iPlayer, where you can see archived video material. But instead of you being able to pick what you want to watch, imagine that someone had made a very narrow decision for you, and you had to watch what they wanted. They've invented that, basically. Like the iPlayer, just way more restrictive. So it'll catch on. I'm sure it'll be really, really good. BBC4. Look, it's another example of them trying to cut money. But the difference was when they tried to get rid of BBC Six Music, because they were going to stop the channel, and then there was a massive uprising saying, no, you can't, people doing petitions, and they kept the channel. That's why they've not said, let's get rid of BBC 4. They've said, let's just change the programmes on it, in as much as we won't make any new ones at all. And there is a strong argument to say that most of the programming there seems to be about the English Civil War, and I guess we've not had another one for quite a while. If there is another English Civil War, at some point they might make a new documentary, but even then, that might be on BBC Two. They've certainly got the time slot free, now they're not doing comedy on it. But I think when they said, like, they've worked out that it's quite a successful channel, people like it, so they're not going to make any more for BBC4. And it just reminded me of that scene from the sitcom W1A, the bit where they said this.
No, the fact is, this is about establishing what we do most of best and finding fewer ways of doing more of it less. Right?
That's exactly what they're doing. They're like finding ways of saving money by working out what's good and just getting rid of it. I can't help but think the phone conversation that led to this probably went like this.
Hello, Mr. Davey. Yes, Johnson down on the 3rd floor. I've got some ideas about how we solve the BBC4 problem. Yes, it's well regarded, but it has low viewing figures. We need to keep it BBC4, but somehow make it less. No, not BBC 3. I think that's taken, but it's a good idea, sir. No, my plan is this. Most of the shows aren't watched by many people, so if we repeat them, there won't be many people that see them, but of those who do, even fewer would have seen it the first time. They won't know that it's a repeat. Yes. So if we find shows that no one watched and no one wants to watch, we could repeat those in perpetuity and save millions. Yes, I know, sir. Yes, as we always say, the only problem with the BBC are the left-wing intellectuals who watch it. Yes.
Just saying. It's probably the conversation they had. And this is not the only thing that they've done to try and revamp the BBC and improve it. Recently, we heard the story that they're going to move more of it out of London. Radio 3 may go up north as well. And this happened a while ago when they moved 5 Live up there, and all it meant was people from London spent longer on Virgin trains. Because we've both been on 5 Live as well, where basically you just get paid extra to go up there. Yeah. They put you up in the Holiday Inn that's right next to it, and then you travel back down again. It takes more time out of your life. And I'd imagine if you live in the Northwest, it doesn't particularly make you feel more represented. And as someone who's from the North, yeah, go on.
When you get up there, though, your money goes so far.
But
everything's so cheap.
You don't have to spend anything because they pay for breakfast in the Holiday Inn as well. So, yeah. And it's a great breakfast because you sit there eating a free breakfast paid for by the BBC licence fee, looking at all the newsreaders who are famous. Oh, it's that bloke from the news. So it's good times, don't get me wrong, but what an absolute waste of money and time to try and make the North feel more included. As a Northerner, this isn't going to... I can tell you, when I grew up, I never thought, I'd tell you, that BBC's all very well, but all of those posh people listen to classical music, they're a bit southern. I wasn't going to relate to them anyway. Poncy people listening to Poncy music is not a northern thing. That's not why we feel disgruntled. And that's why it won't make a difference if they improve the BBC by turning one of their stations into this. You're listening to BBC Radio 3 North. Now that was Bizet, can't beat a bit of Bizet, as we always say, and Carmen, which is an opera all about a lip balm. On the way for us then, we'll play a bit of Debussy, and also coming up, 4 Seasons. It's not just a pizza. We'll find out more soon. BBC Radio 3 North. But if they do make it like that, I am available for work. Yeah. So you're up to date.
You're really available, especially once a week. broadcast on a Thursday, I believe, back in the day.
We did Fridays. We did a couple of series on Thursdays, Fridays at 10 o'clock.
Oh, well.
Yeah, and we were the hottest thing with some great figures, and everyone said it was like the future of comedy. But then a certain party won an election.
But you know what the future of comedy is? Right here. Just look at our Google Trends. Look at the trends, guys. Look at the trends.
Chris says, bin Mrs. Brown's boys and bring back Nish. But both. I'm in favour of both. I know loads of people think like, oh, Mrs. Brown's boys is terrible. I've never seen an episode, but my dad used to love it. So do you know what? Keep it on the telly. But don't get rid of stuff you don't like. You don't get better diversity of comedy by getting rid of stuff.
Yeah, especially the stuff that you're on.
Yeah, don't get rid of the stuff I'm on. I've got bills. Damn it. I just lost every other bit of my work. Do you know what I mean? The radio had got rid of me. The stand-up comedy had gone. It's all right. Thank God I'm on TV. What's that now? Fuck.
Well, you're on TV. Look. Right there.
Yep. I always thought the height of my comedy career, my TV career, would be on in the background while someone's using a glass coffee table. That's what I was after. Chris says, didn't BBC Three disappear once? It did. It went online only for a while, didn't it?
So, you know, you could come back.
But BBC Four can't do that, because if BBC Four goes online only, the kind of people who watch BBC Four, they could call their grandchildren to ask how you use Wi-Fi, but it's not going to be enough to sustain a channel.
Well, I'm sure they've still got their dial-up working. Let's see. What have we got? Chris has said, I'm hard of understanding. I have a hole in my back. Not sure what that's...
I don't know what that was about. Chris says Northern Radio method, although Mark pulls me up on a technicality. Using your actual accent isn't method. All right.
Ooh. So you're method all the time, then?
This is all method. And yet talking about nice, can't beat a bit of Debussy. Oh,
I've told you before. You got to northern it up in this current climate. Britt has said, my neighbors, who I don't know well, she's qualified that before she gets too far in it, got to see you last week. Apparently, I can cast from my tablet to their TV without a password. Took me 5 minutes frantically trying to turn it off, still giggling.
Please do it more. That's the only way that we'll get more viewers. Tell us when you do it so we can say hello to them as well. Oh my God, that would freak them out. If we pretended we were actual telly, but then started to talk to them in their, call them by their names.
Yeah, Britt, if you can give us their names, just tell us when, and then we'll be like, hello, Susan. Hello, Dale. You've been a naughty boy on the glass coffee table again.
That would be so good. They'd be terrified. I don't know why I enjoy it, because I've been locked up for a year. I want to terrify people. What's wrong with...
Do you want this to stop? Go to Ko-fi right now. That's the way to do it. But Brits, depending on what you're watching, that could go really wrong.
Yes, be careful about casting that to the wrong TV, because you might accidentally make a bishop kick through a stained glass window.
Boris Johnson. Let's see. Mark says, what number are they? That's creepy.
We'll track them down.
Track them down.
Bishop said you've had a fair old wallop of the licence fee in your day. Yeah, that one day when they bought me breakfast when I went and did question time, extra time. When I used to be somebody, when they cared of my opinions.
I was on breakfast once.
Those are the days.
Those were the days.
Sal says, I have a glass coffee table because when sweets fall underneath, I can still see them. That is so much more innocent than what I was thinking.
You're going to have to explain it to me when we finish the whole coffee table thing.
And Chris saying I should northernize the script of Total Recall. Total Recall. But in real life,
that'd be good.
You'll be lobotomized.
Oh, we're not going to go down this path again, all right?
You're in the operating room. If we don't get you out, you'll have a schizoid embolism.
All right.
You got another one to do, but while you're doing that, I'll be googling the script of Total Recall, working out what to do at a northern.
So between now and Thursday, right? I think we're getting to the end here. We are going to be back exclusively on the YouTube channel from next on Thursday. Comics Solving Problems, right there, and that's where all the fun chat is and everything else. And if you are watching us there, please feel free to like the show. That helps. And you could subscribe as well, because the more people that subscribe, the more power we have over the community. And we can throw our show onto different people's televisions.
Imagine it, and then just sit there and go, "Ah!" Special effects on their TV. You can do them all.
That'd be good. That'd be good. And then we can just we can get Comment Cam into their home. Hello, Brits neighbors. That'd be good.
I can't wait. Yes, we will get in trouble, but at least we'll get in the newspapers, and that's exactly the kind of publicity
That's what we need. Because otherwise, I'm gonna have to go freaking fly to the Suez Canal, steal a mummy.
How about Northern Schmeagol? Says Chris in the comments. That's an
Can you do it? We're gonna get the copyright claim.
It's difficult. I'm gonna have to work on that one.
Sounds more like Kermit the Frog. Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Because we're stupid. You have no friends. Oh, I'm gonna have to work on that. And also, it's really weird not having a comment cam to turn to do the Schmeagol stuff. I got so used to doing.
That's what's holding you back. Right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for everyone who did chuck some money in Ko-fi. I know I said thank you to Mark, but I can't get into the rest of the thank yous there, but we appreciate it. Back on Thursday at 9 o'clock. Anything else we need to say?
No. And just back on Thursday, 9 o'clock on the YouTube. Let's see what happens when we point everyone in one place. Yeah.
Point you in one place, one direction to Brit's neighbor's house.
Brilliant. Yeah, so I think until next time, if I can remember which keys to press, not the one that takes us off air, we can say bye.
Bye.